the Welsh Tea and Conversation Group, which hasn't quite yet been around 40 years, but we have continuously, for the past 26 years, been meeting to read Welsh Old or Middle and Modern, and occasionally presenting at this organization. We presented our first medieval readings 26 years ago, I think. And mindful of the fact that the Medieval Studies program has just celebrated a milestone, we decided that we would entertain you with Welsh from a text that has also just reached a milestone of sorts. The Middle Welsh poem we're going to be reading is copied from the edition and translation of the Book of Taliesin by J. Gwenolfyn Evans, which appeared 100 years ago this year. And Evans was a clergyman by training and a philologist by avocation, who became quite famous in his time after he lost his voice and could no longer preach, for tracking down Middle Welsh manuscripts and publishing them, culminating in an appointment as Inspector of Manuscripts, in which office he was instrumental in starting the National Library of Wales. And his edition of the Book of Taliesin is still the one you are most likely to encounter on Amazon or online, and so on. Taliesin, we are fairly certain, was a real poet who flourished in the Cumbrian-speaking south of what is now modern Scotland, back toward the end of the 6th century. And we're also quite certain that he didn't write most of the poems attributed to him in the Book of Taliesin, which all post-date the historical Taliesin by 600-ish years. But Dr. Evans didn't share that opinion. By the time he turned his attention to them late in his career, he was, according to his biography, interested more in interpreting than in reproducing texts, and his theory is represented by his drastic revision and translation of the Aneurin and Taliesin poems, met with little acceptance among scholars. He took at face value the claim that they were all the work of the poet himself, and in fact he concluded that the Song of the Wind, which we will be reading for you, was one of the earliest, so it's the first one in his edition. Now, the publication of his volume prompted a withering monographic-length critique by the formidable Sir John Morris Jones, who took up an entire issue of the Cymrodor, with mounting an impressive case that the Song of the Wind and poems like it could not possibly have been written later or earlier than the 12th century because, for one thing, the rhymes wouldn't have worked any earlier than that. And to top it all off, he maintains that Dr. Evans didn't even really understand the poem that he translated. So take a look at the text. The first line of the poem is, "Dachumig huyu," and he characterizes Evans' translation of the first line as a flagrant mistranslation. It doesn't mean whose idea was it, meaning whose idea was the wind, as Evans maintained. Instead it means, guess who it is. Now, in fairness, some Morris Jones thinks it's a riddle. And in fairness, Welsh syntax being what it is, either one of those interpretations is possible depending on whether you take dachumig to be a noun or an imperative verb. But Dr. Evans's reputation was permanently tarnished by this critique, and he felt personally quite stung. And so after stewing for the next 6 years, in 1924 he published a 120-page reply to his critic, which took up another whole volume of Cymrodor, some of which is devoted to venting in rather personal terms about Sir John. He says, "It has been remarked that some minds are cast while other minds grow. Sir John's mind was cast, and of all the young Welshmen I met at Oxford, Sir John stands out as the man who has grown the least." But then he goes on to say something quite revealing about himself, and quite uplifting in his way. "Now, work on original documents is bound to give the students new estimates of the value of authorities. I know no more disconcerting experience than to have a fact stuck just like a stiletto into one's inherited beliefs and prejudices. The old crumbles and falls, raising such dust that for a time one can see nothing. Happy is he who escapes the dust and catches a glimpse of the pinnacle of truth to lead him on to its temple. Thus it was with me in the poems of Taliesin and Aneurin. I had been taught to regard them as stuff and nonsense, and my work on them became a burden I could scarcely bear, till one day the stiletto let in the light, changing boredom unutterable into an exciting quest, full of incident discovery and the pleasure in life. After he wrote that, he produced very little for the rest of his life. But in the end, he was a man of enormous enthusiasm, and he stimulated enthusiasm in others, and even among his critics, prompted a very productive conversation. So we think it's that a commemoration of the centennial publication of his book by reading one of the poems from it is in order. So the book of Taliesin from the Llyfr Taliesin, or the Llyfr Taliesin, the poem Canu Gwynt, A Song of the Wind. Dychymyg pwy yw, cread cyn dilio, creadur caddarn, heb gig, heb asgwrn, heb wythew, heb waed, heb ben a heb draed, ni bydd hyn a yw, noged y dechreu, ni ddaw i o ddew, ofyn nach am hew, ni dioes I esiaw, gan readur ew, mawr ddiw mor wynew, ban ddaw y chew, mawr I werth y dew, y gŵr a'i borew, y maes yn hoed, heb ddaw, heb droed, heb haint a heb hoed, heb edig a ddoed.
Ac efo'n gyfoed, a pum hoed, hefyd is yr hun, heb pum pwynt flwyddyn, ac ef yn gyfled, ac wyneb tydwed, ac ef ni aned, ac ef ni wyled, ar for ac ar dir, ni'r ni welir, ef yn amhyr, ni ddaw y band yn nir, ar dir ac ar for, ef un anhebfor, ef un ddiachor, ef un di esor, ef o bederor, ni bydd wrth gynghor, ef gywyn am gor, o ddi i'ch man yn gor.
Ef llafar, ef myd, ef yn anfaned, ef yn wrd, yn drud, ban drem yn drostyd. Ef myd, ef llafar, ef yn o'r ddear. Mwyaf I faniar, arwyneb, daiar. Ef yn dda, yn drwg, ef yn aneglwg, ef yn amlwg, can is gwyl golwg. Yn drwg ac yn dda, ef hwnt, ef yma. Ef Idd anhrefna, ni ddiwg a wyna, ni ddiwg a wrech, ac ef yn ddibeg, yn wlyb ac yn sych, ef y ddawn fanne.
Hwyr syr a ffwrion a dwi nas a lai. Hyn I symud ac ef yn ddyn. Newid hefyd, ysgrydu o hyd. There of all this is how everything go a garden wind. Maint bo incwyd tonne I werydd. I bod lloyd erydd ban fel yn wythrydd cyntrau. Ci bergydd a ierfyd